Hi, everybody. Welcome to Mat Yoga. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Kellie. Today, we are going to focus on some lower back and joints, just getting into those joints, holding a few poses a little bit longer that really address those areas. So, first thing we're going to do is we're going to come onto our back. So, when we're addressing our lower back, I like to take a nice stretch, uh, starting the mat, bring my right knee in towards me, keep the left foot on the floor. So I'm going to address the joints by taking the knee into a little bit of a circular motion here. And just warming up the joints. If you hear any popping or feel any pain, do less or hold it still. You don't have to do this. Excellent. And we're going to sort of reverse the direction of that knee. So we're just starting with that little warming movement. One more. Good. Now we're going to take our hands, slip them behind your hamstring and extend the right leg up. Now, we'd love to have that leg nice and straight. So if it starts to bend, bring the leg out a little bit more and flex through the foot. If you have a strap, even better. So you don't have a strap sitting there at your desk. So we're going to try just folding our hamstring. Now, melt the shoulders. What we're doing here is we're stretching our hamstring, and that affects lower back health, right? So you can feel really good here, stretching. If it feels okay for you to do so, you can extend your left leg long, flex that foot as well. Point and flex, maybe make some circles with the ankle. Beautiful. Awesome. Bring that knee in, bring the foot to the floor, shake it out. You might feel a little bit longer on that right side, but it's a really good stretch to help stretch out lower back and for a little bit lower back health. Bring that left knee in, hug it in towards you. So we're compressing the joint. We're going to take the knee and make little circles. So when we're addressing joints, there's a couple types of yoga that you can do. Hatha is good for joints, as well as yin, which is very much getting into the fascia and joint area. Because we want to really be mindful of the joints, building up, let's reverse the direction, building up the strength in the leg as well as the flexibility, or same thing with upper body. So there's this balance. We want strength, yet also to be flexible in that area. Good. Let's come back to center. We're going to slip our hands again behind the hamstring, clasping the hands. Bring the left foot up, spread the toes, and melt your shoulders. Nice deep, slow breathing here. Point and flex the foot if you want to get into that muscle a little bit. This is an excellent one. You feel how tight those hamstrings are. You might even be bending your knee a lot. So again, taking the leg out to straighten it. That's the most important thing is the straight leg. Let's try to breathe into that effort. Nice slow inhales and exhales. Good. Beautiful. And then let's bring that leg down. Let's notice from both legs straight. Take it out a little bit and just notice how that feels. Good. Right knee comes in. We're going to take our right hand behind our right knee and we're going to bring that knee towards the shoulder, the foot up towards the ceiling. So just getting into the hip joint a little bit here as well. And also a great stretch for the lower back. You should probably feel how that releases back there. Deep breaths. And bring it back. Extend the right leg, left knee comes in, same thing, hand behind the knee draws over towards the shoulder. Flex up through the heel and foot. Good. So again, getting into the hip and lower back. We'll work our joints, our shoulders in just a moment and do some stretches that can help with any tightness there. Good. Come back to center. Extend the leg, walk both feet back. You can either rock 3 times along the side or roll to the side, come up to a seated position. Let's talk about our shoulders for just a moment. We're going to open up our chest and shoulders without being on our hands. So come to a comfortable seated position, crossing at the shins. We're going to bring the right arm up. I'm going to bend the right elbow so that uh, my tricep is facing forward. The left hand comes up to the top of that. Good. Breathe here, right? You're going to feel the stretch here and in the shoulders. If you want more, we take the left hand behind and walk our hand up our back towards the right hand. Now, this is also wonderful with a strap. This is a great way to open up the shoulders. The head is centered on the torso. So if you notice your chin is tucked, lift it slightly. If it's too far, lift it, take it slightly. So chin is parallel to the floor. Couple more breaths. Hold about 15 seconds. I usually try in these deeper stretches. So this is really good for our shoulder joint. Good. And let's release. So, little tip on the joints as well. Our hip joint is our leg, and the joint are like a catcher's mitt with a baseball. So, it's pretty secure. With our shoulder joint, it's like a golf tee with a golf ball. So, it's a little bit more sensitive, obviously, and less stable. Bring the left arm up and bend that elbow. Bring your right hand to the top of the left elbow. And this is where you can stay if this feels good. If you feel secure in it, in this, you can stay. If you'd like more, you reach the right hand back and walk that hand up towards the left. Notice how different one side is to the other. Where one side you might almost even get your fingers to touch, and the other maybe not so much. That's totally normal. We're not going to push that, right? We're going to accept that as is and just work within the confines of the left and right differences. A couple more breaths. And let's release the arms. Excellent. Come up onto all fours. A little bit more about the lower back. So now we're going to come into our cat cow. Shoulders over wrists, knees under hips. We'll take an inhale and starting at our tailbone, we're going to lift the hips. This will allow the belly to drop naturally, and we can lift the heart forward, crown of the head towards the sky. Exhale, starting at the tailbone, tuck your tailbone, draw your navel in towards the spine, into chest. Good. Inhale and exhale. So the lower back, the lumbar region, for me, that region is sacred. It actually this is the sacrum, so easy to remember. It is the area that we want to be very gentle with. There's a lot of pressure from the weight of our torso and organs. And then it spreads out to help us walk. Good. So we have a lot of stuff going on. We want to be very gentle with that lower back. And a lot of the times, most people's complaints are neck and lower back, so our secondary curves. But come back to neutral. So neither inflection nor extension. We're going to extend that right leg back. Your heel will cross it over to the left side of the mat. And just take a little side bend here. Drawing your left shoulder towards the hip and hip towards the shoulder. And come back to center and other side. Extend the left leg, press through that heel, and then cross it over to the right side and look over your shoulder. Beautiful. Nice deep breaths here. Feel that side bend. If you feel it in the lower back at all, tuck the tailbone a little. And come back to center. Awesome. So we talk a little bit about the lower back and having support for the lower back, which means a little bit of core. It doesn't have to be excessive core. It is more about stretching than it is the front of the body, but it's nice to have a little bit of, of support front and back. Reach your right arm forward and the left leg comes back. We're going to lift that leg coming into one arm balance. Exhale the elbow and knee in towards each other and round the spine. Inhale, extend. Good. Exhale, round. Bring that navel in. So it's like imitating cow, but with one arm and one leg moving in conjunction with the spine. So let's do two more. Connect the breath with the movement. Good. Bring your hand down and knee down. We'll do the other side. Left arm. Exhale, elbow and knee draw in. Inhale, extend. Exhale, round. So in keeping that strength in our core, it just allows our lower back to not compensate as much, right? So sometimes our lower back compensates for weakness in core. Doesn't mean it's directly influenced completely. One does step in. Good. Hand down and knee down. Wonderful. Bring your big toes to touch. Let's sit back in child's pose for a moment. Beautiful. Bringing those hips way back, and you're going to feel that nice stretch in the lower back, especially after we've been doing core. You'll notice where the back kind of compensates. Always having that balance, strength and stability in the lower back. Come back up, inhale. Good. Now let's see, maybe walk the hands forward. You can bring your forearms down and forehead down in puppy dog with your hips over the knees, or you can extend fully. So we're going to get into the shoulder joint just a little bit, the very delicate shoulder joint. So you can stay right here because we're very deep. You should feel those shoulder blades draw in and down towards the hips. Once you're in that deep position, you can decide, you can bring the left arm underneath the right armpit and bring the cheek to the floor like so. Just take a nice few deep breaths here. That's a little intense, but if you want to try, go for it. Very slow, deep breaths. We come back to center and you can switch sides or just say where you are, right cheek to the floor, right arm threads underneath the left armpit. Slow that breathing, hips draw back. Let's come on back to center. Excellent. Walk back, shoulders over wrists. Good. We're going to take our right foot forward. Have that right knee directly over the heel. A stack. Now you can bring your hands to the top of that right thigh and start to shoulder over hip, stack the bones, right? We're into the hip joint a little in the back and the hip flexor especially. So the psoas that runs the top of your quadricep on the left. Keep drawing that right hip back, left hip forward. And that back leg is scooped back quite a bit. So it's not in a 90-degree angle. You're not directly on the patella of the knee. Bring the arms up if you choose. Good, and reach back. Only if that feels good. Otherwise, the hands can stay right on top of that thigh. You can bring the elbows out to the side and squeeze the shoulder blades. Get a nice open heart here. We hold for about 5 breaths. We're holding a little longer because we want to really stretch the muscles around our joints, our hips, particularly in the shoulders. Good. Arms come up and the hands can come down. Now, you can try straightening that right leg and drawing your toes towards the face. So now we're into that hamstring again. This is where we're into the lower back. But where we were currently, you may have felt that lift, that effort in the back body. Now we're stretching out the back body in response. Good. Right. Bring that foot down. We will switch. Left foot comes forward, right leg scoots back. Get about a 180-degree angle with that back leg. Bring the top hands to the top of the thigh and stack, shoulders over hips. So as stretch, arms reach when you're ready. Nice. Deep breaths here. And just notice you can open the shoulders up if you want and take liberties with this. Take a wider stance with your arms. Great thing about yoga is it's exactly what you want it to be, right? You listen to your own body. Bring the hands down and we'll start to straighten the front leg and draw the toes towards the face. You can walk your hands back. You can keep them reaching forward, but you're going to notice calf, hamstring. Breathe here. Beautiful. Bring the foot down and we will come onto all fours. Beautiful. Let's have a seat. Have a seat. Let's extend the legs forward. We're in seated staff position for a moment. So let's have, you see, we're not doing standing today. We're working on lower back and our joints. So take your feet hips width distance apart, heels on the ground. Bring my hands right by my sides. Lift the heart. This is seated staff, very intense core, but you're going to feel that alignment in the spine. You're going to notice as we stack bone by bone, shoulders over hips. And then we just begin to walk the hands forward while bringing our belly toward the thighs. Walk the hands forward. Good. Deep breaths. Slow and steady. Inhale. And just notice as you exhale, maybe the belly comes closer. You'll get that same back of the hamstring stretch. But as long as we keep that heart lifted, it's going to allow us to feel a nice release at the lower. Good. Come on up slowly, very slowly. All right. Awesome. Bring the soles of the feet together like so. And we're going to bring your heels in. This is a pose I like to do in a yin class where we hold it for a little bit longer. What we're doing here is stretching inner thigh, outer hip, lower back, right? So we're going to have our hands to the feet. We're going to open the feet like little books and just kind of come into the stretch. Ooh. And you'll only come down as feels good, right? You don't want to surpass that feeling of learning where you know you're doing something for your body. You can feel the stretch and going into that panic mode, which just makes people just frustrated and not able to breathe. So we're going to kind of stay into that little space. So if at any point you need to come out and reset, please feel free because we're going to hold this for quite a while because we're in our joints. We're going to keep releasing the muscles until we start to really feel the natural resistance of our muscles. Hey, our fight or flight muscles, which are hips, hamstrings, and glutes, they do not like to let go. It takes a while. Do more here. Maybe slow the breathing. Very slowly. Beautiful. And bring the knees together. In a yin class, we hold that for about 5 minutes time. Let's come back onto all fours. I'm going to show you from the front so you can see what I'm doing. So we're going to work our hip joint a little bit more and lower back. I'm going to take this right foot and bring it, the ankle, to the left knee. I'm on all fours like I'm in cat cow. So you're going to feel this in that outer hip a lot. Now I'm going to do a few cat cows, just pelvic tilting, lifting the hip up and exhale round. Good. Inhale. So we are deep in our hip joint and we're also moving the lower back, getting some flexion and extension. So it's a nice little combination. You can do this a few times. I'll show you from the side. And if you want to stay here, if you want more, you scoot that left leg all the way back. If it's okay for your knees, into a half pigeon. That is not necessary. You don't have to do that. You can just stay in this nice movement that'll address our lower back and our joints. Good. A few more. Do whatever you feel like doing. I'm going to stay in this. Yeah. Excellent. Let's switch sides. So come up if you were in your half pigeon. Bring your left ankle to the top of the right knee. And same thing here, just cat gentle movements. It's a lot. It's a strange positioning of the legs. Now, if we were to do this on our back, which we can do momentarily, you're in reclined pigeon, and we've all done that before, figure four. It's the same leg formations. Good. One more. Or you come back into sliding the right leg back into half pigeon. So just come on down. So either one is fine. A few more here. Connect that breath. It's a good place to do it. And come back to center. Good. Let's come out of this and have a seat. We're going to lower onto the back for a few more shoulder stretches as well as your hips. Beautiful. Come on down. We're going to have our hands right by the sides. Feet our hips width distance apart. Maybe touch your heel with the middle finger. Have your hands right by your sides. Tuck your tailbone. The tailbone lies flat. Use your feet and legs and press down as we lift the hips up and roll towards your shoulders. So really into the shoulders. Every setu bandha or back bend is about the chest and shoulders. We use our legs to open up. Why it's a challenge because it can be really, you're using all that effort from the legs. So roll the shoulders underneath. You can clasp the hands if you want, but this is also, we've got to be mindful of our lower back. So we're going to tuck the tailbone just a little bit to shorten the distance between the ribs and the tops of the and your hip points right up here, shortening that distance. Make neutral the lower back. Good. Exhale, starting at the top of your back, lower one vertebra at a time. Very slow descent. Ooh, and a soft landing. Good. We'll do that again. This time, the same setup. We're going to tuck the tailbone, press down in the feet, lift up, roll the shoulders underneath. You can clasp the hands if that's again in the cards. Up to you. Nice deep breath. Exhale, we slowly lower down top of the back, mid back, and the lower back. Just rest between. Take a few breaths. Very good. And last one. Hook that tailbone up towards the backs of the knees, roll back. You can clasp the hands if you want, or keep your hands by your sides. It's all about the shoulders. That's just kind of rolling up towards the chin. Press into the floor with the back of the head slightly if your chin is lifted or too much tucked. Good. Well, exhale lower very slowly. Good. All right. Bring those knees in towards you. Even with that shoulder opening, we're going to feel that slightly in our back. So we bring our knees in, we rock side to side, and you can make little circles with your knees. All right. Bring the feet to the floor. Awesome. So there was our shoulders. Now our hips. We're going to bring our right ankle over the left knee. So same formation we did on all fours, just a little different. We want both sides of the pelvis to rest on the floor. We're going to bring the left knee in and grab the hamstring. Now you can straighten that leg up towards the ceiling for more in the back of the leg. Draw it in closer to you. Bend the left knee more and reach to the outside of the left shin with both hands. That's going to really intensify the stretch in the outer hip. We're going to hold on. So our joints are very delicate. So we want to be very careful. And what we do in our practice is we really basically just stretch the areas all around the joints. We can't really stretch a joint. They're connected with connected tissue. It's the muscles around that we stretch to make our joints healthy and have space. So when we do a cat cow, we're creating space in our back body, creating space between the vertebrae, which provides us comfort. Bring the foot down, uncrossed. Good. Left ankle over right knee. We do all of these movements, we hold them for that stretch so that our joints can stay healthy. And we just focus on certain ones. And you can bring that right leg up or send the heel in closer, reach the outsides of the leg. Deep breath. Beautiful. All right. Let's release the leg and uncross. Beautiful. Arms come out to the side like airplane wings. Bring your feet and lift your hips up towards the ceiling. So there's a reason we're doing this. We're going to align our joints for a twist. So we're going to take our hips over to the left side of the mat and drop them. That sends us a little out of alignment. Then we're going to bring the knees in and drop them to the right. So you'll see your left hip is now lined up with the shoulder. It's that little swim out to the side and a drop. And you can look over your left shoulder here if that feels okay. But here we are in this nice twist. So we're going to feel this from the mid to upper back. Left hip is on top of the right. If it's too much to keep your knees up, you drop them down one little drop. Reach through the fingertips, spread the fingers if you can, and just feel that Nice openness in the heart and shoulders. Both shoulder blades melt to the floor. So we want to hold them. If they're not coming down, you come up a little with those legs. Most important to have the foundation strong here. Come back to center. Good. And bring your hips to good. Feet down, lift the hips up, and then take the hips over to the right and drop them. Bring the knees in, and then they drop to the left. So taking this nice twist. Deep breaths here, lining hip and shoulder joints. Whenever we're in the practice, a thing to keep in mind as well is that if you can stack your joints like heels under hips, hips under shoulders in almost every pose you're in, almost, it can really improve how it feels and give you the maximum result for your effort because you're going to feel healthy, you'll be in alignment. Breathe deep and come back up through center. Bring the feet to the floor and readjust. Good. Bring those knees in again. And bring your hands behind your knees and your knees in towards your underarms, feet up towards the ceiling, full happy baby. You can reach or the sides of the feet. This is also feels good in the lower back. We're going to try to get that tailbone rocking towards the floor as much as possible. Could be impossible. We're all built differently. We can all do different things. It's okay. We're just thinking in that direction. It doesn't actually physically need to happen for it to have effect. You can think about that tailbone drawing down, and your body will kind of try to respond as best it can. And we just are cool with wherever we are. A couple more breaths. And bring those knees in, bring the feet to the floor, extend the legs, bring your arms open by your sides. Now, you're welcome to bring one hand on the belly, the other to the heart for your Shavasana. We're going to have about a half minutes, 2 minutes, something like that. So find your comfortable position, melt the shoulders away from the ears one more time. Close the eyes. And when your mind starts to wander, simply without judgment, bring it back to the present. It's in the thinking and the knowing that you're thinking, where you can feel the present. Let's start to bring the awareness back into the body by deepening your inhale and exhale. Feel your fingers and toes and move your head side to side. The toes, bring the arms up overhead. Take a deep inhale, try it out. Feet back, roll over to the right side. Stay there for just a moment, feeling the effects of your practice. When you're ready, come to a comfortable seated position. To heart. In order to have good joint health and lower back health, it becomes about patience. slowing down and finding those areas that we can move and be comfortable in and holding them for a while. I appreciate you spending your time with me today. I hope you have a great rest of your day and a wonderful weekend. Victory to our spirits, peace to all beings. Namaste. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great rest of your afternoon.